So good morning and welcome to the show. And with me today is Judge Gill Self. So
Good
thank
morning,
you
Mary.
for being here.
Sure, my pleasure. And given what I'm usually doing this time of day, it's a pleasure to come talk about something fun like the
Thank
Handy
you.
Festival.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate what you do the other hours of the day, which is, look out for the citizens of Lauderdale County.
My pleasure as well.
So I understand you are the president-elect of the Music
Missed the
Preservation.
meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was your assignment. Teach you to miss
No, but
a meeting.
I'm happy to do it. I've been on the board since '08. Tori Bailey, who's instrumental in the board, as you know, we had talked about it for a while before I agreed to come on the board. She and I are childhood friends, and she knew I had a love for music, much like hers, and so I accepted her invitation in '08, and so I've been there 6 years now.
So are you going to play? Are you gonna? I've seen you. I have participated in some sing-alongs that you have led.
Well, I enjoy it, but no, ma'am, I am not going to be performing.
Okay, well, you should. So, all right, the Music Preservation Society, is that the governing body of the WC Handy Festival?
Yes, ma'am. The community knows about the Handy Festival.
Right.
Really, our board is the Music Preservation Society. We have so much heritage, musical heritage in this community, as well documented, that back in '82 there were a few original board members that felt like we needed to preserve it in a variety of ways and then enhance it and develop it, and that's how it began. The Handy Festival is one of many events that we schedule year-round. So
Okay.
it's kind of our flagship, but we just finished in June the music camp that it's been a wonderful experience, and we have different runs.
And where is the music camp?
It was at UNA.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a splendid faculty that comes from all over, kind of the deep south, that provides lessons in the piano, organ, violins, guitars, all the instruments, and this is free to the public. So
Okay.
it's a benefit we do to really to some young people that might not be able to afford this otherwise.
Well, that's a nice thing. Okay, so let's get down to this year's festival.
Sure.
So what are the dates of this year's festival? Do
Well,
you know off the top of your head? I have it.
Yeah, you might want to double check me. See, we have a pre-Handy Festival Saturday, July 12th, and then there's
Right.
another pre-Handy Festival on the 17th, but in earnest it begins the 18th.
Okay.
You tell me, through the 27th to
right.
the 27th, yes ma'am. It's we've grown. We started as a long weekend, and now we're 11 days. So,
Golly.
It's been a wonderful ride.
All right, so let's talk about different venues. So I understand that the venues are spread out all over the Shoals and not just in Florence. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, that's a question I get sometimes, because why isn't it a center stage
Right.
type event? Well,
Right.
for instance, this year, Tori and I were looking at the numbers, and we have 307 performances in over 300 venues. So there's be no way that we could coordinate that at a Norton Auditorium or the Coliseum or some amphitheater, and that was never really the idea, because the design in '82 was to help the regional economy and to bring all these performances into all the businesses and stores and restaurants around town, from Sheffield, Tuscumbia, Florence. You can come to downtown Florence, you can go out on Cox Creek Parkway, and it was designed to direct traffic and customers to these different venues, and maybe they would stay and have dinner, or they would go in a store in downtown and pick up merchandise as well. Plus, we always have several events in the nursing homes, and so, obviously we couldn't bring them to us, so it was easier for us to go to the nursing homes, and so that's why we don't have really a center stage event.
Well, being from the chamber, I appreciate that you all wanting to really promote business, and the business community really thanks you, and that's a good thing. So you have 300 venues?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lot.
You ought to try to coordinate all that.
No. I told them that I'm going to put on my resume professional cat herder. That is even out of my spectrum of organizational skills.
That committee and Tori and that part of the board, it's a year-round process, because when you have that many performers, that many folks from out of town, support staff, roadies, so to speak, getting them in hotels and coordinating that it's a year-round task.
Wow. Okay, now the all-important question: why the third week in July? It is hot. hot.
Yeah,
Gil.
it is. It is super hot that time of year. But there was really two objectives when they went with the third week in July. If you've been to our events, you know it's a family event.
Right.
And children we have so many programs that target the children, whether it's the ABCs of Blues or Kids Jam or the end of summer reading programs that are part of it. And so to try to put children's programs during the fall or winter or spring just wasn't going to work. We needed to do it during the vacation times. And in hindsight, it's worked out well because we have so many international travelers that come to the program. I've met them from the UK, I've met them from Australia. So, plus the county system and the city system and UNA and Northwest Shoals, their vacation times are different. And that's why we earmarked the summer. Okay. How we refined it to July was simply because, you know, you have the film festival in March,
right.
You have Arts Alive in May, you have the Helen Keller Festival in June, you have the 4th of July celebration, then you have, used to be the Trail of Tears in September, you have the Renaissance Fair in October, you have the Watermelon Festival in Franklin County, you have the bass tournaments. So, you know, that week, last week of July was just, you know, where we could slot it. Yeah, it's hot, but I think folks have gotten used to it over the years.
We've learned to expect it.
That's right. That's right.
And I'd like to talk about the music a little bit, if you,
sure.
if we may. So I know that a lot of years you have some repeat customers, if you will.
Sure.
Do you all try to bring in a certain amount of new, and I know you may not be on this committee, new folks to performers every year, or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're always trying to develop the local talent because we have so much. And in this year, for instance, our headliners are new, okay, though they're all well known. I mean, you got Candy Staten, who's, you know, 6 decades in the industry, all kinds of R&B number ones in the 70s. She got her start at Fame.
Right.
And then, you know, she later toured exclusively in doing gospel music, then came back in '06 to an Americana type genre. And then she just cut a new album. They released an album with John Paul White, who's another one of our headliners, that was released in May with Jason Isbell, who's also another local talent. And, you know, I mentioned Mr. White. He's obviously a Grammy Award winner this past year with the Civil Wars, and he's also one of our headliners. And then Donnie Fritz has been around a lot, and he really needs no introduction.
Exactly.
A Music Hall of Famer, and we're fortunate to see him around town. It's neat to see an individual of that type of stature.
He was standing in line with me for tickets for the Terry Pace benefit concert. He was in line in front of me.
I saw him standing outside Trowbridge's about 2 weeks ago, waiting on the table. You know, so
I mean,
yeah, it's a pleasure. And of course, he's
fun.
40 years with Christopherson, and he's had a bunch of number ones that have been covered by Willie Nelson, the Delbert McClinton, and so to have him headlining again as well, sure. And then we have the folks that just love to come back. I mean, the Eric Essex or the Kent Duchesnes, and the different that have these followings that are not newcomers, but enjoy the enjoy coming back to the community and enjoy the festival, and then call us up. Hey, can I come back next year? And we're always great. Sure, you're welcome.
Now, if people need information, where can they get that information?
2 of the best sites are probably go to our website that's maintained daily, and it has all your basic information.
Would that be wchandymusicfestival.com?
That's it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Our main office where we have all our board meetings are on Mobile Street, but here shortly, and they may have already set it up, our handy headquarters are always at the corner of Tuscaloosa and Wood Avenue in the Kennedy Douglas Arts Building. And so if you're downtown, you can swing by there. If you're looking to buy T-shirts, I think this year they're $15 each. The new poster, which is another kids event, really. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the competition that we have each year, and this was the winner from
So is there a competition
year.
For the posters?
Oh, we'll get, yes ma'am, very enthusiastic competition because it can help launch you in a variety of ways. And in fact, several of our winners have gone on for a career in either publishing or art design and you know, along those lines. And so this was our winner this year.
Well, it's great.
And we're looking forward to it, especially on the heels, you know, of the Muscle Shoals documentary,
Right.
and you know, that has enjoyed such success. And
Do you think that'll increase the not necessarily, well, awareness and the draw? How many folks usually come?
I couldn't. Maybe Dr. Green. I know you're
I'll
going to
ask
speak
Dr.
with her
Green.
lately. It's
Or
hard.
tourism.
Or tourism. It's hard to tell with so many venues. I
Right.
mean, we really don't keep up with it. But you know, when we have those downtown events and everybody seems to be centered, there's thousands of people, and of course we pack Norton Auditorium on the the headliner event every year. So so we're expecting another big crowd. To answer your question, probably we have a lot more international visitors than we're used to, because we tend to, you know, rhythm and blues in general are internationally praised. In fact, I know the Muscle Shoals All-Star Band, that 14-member band, is playing in northern Italy at that big blues festival later in, late July, I believe. So, so looking forward to another big crowd.
Well, you have been very helpful, and I certainly appreciate your time, and look forward to sweating with you in July 18th.
Good to see you, Mary Martha.
Thank you. So we'll be right back.
Now create a password.
Walter.
Your password must contain 8 characters.
Walter, dog.
Your password must contain 2 numbers.
Contain at least 2 numbers. Box of stupid.
We can't fix that problem. But at Fuller Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, real people answer our phones. Serving North Alabama and Middle Tennessee.
Please re-enter the password. Now who's the box of stupid?
Hello, I'm Cash Ellison, and I'm a supervising lifeguard here at the Fed Aquatic Center. I'd like to take this time to invite everyone out to come see us. We're open Monday through Friday from 10 in the morning till 5 at night. We also have parties from 5:30 until 9:30. We have 3 slides that you can ride: the red, the blue, and the yellow slide. The yellow slide drops you 5 foot into the deep end. It's a pretty good little splashdown. The red slide is more of a gentle, classic grotto slide that we have here. And we also have the new lazy river. We pretty much have everything from people of all ages. We have a kid play area with a kiddie slide that the kids love to play on. It has buckets on it that dumps water, sprayers they can spray each other with. They just have a ball out here. So bring your kids, bring your grandparents, everybody come out and just have a good time with us. We're open also on Sunday from 1 until 5.
Have you been living with pain for so long it's become part of your everyday life? Then you should know that chiropractors are trained and licensed to treat pain without surgery or drugs. So, if you want to leave pain behind, visit your local chiropractor today. It's the natural way to stay healthy.
Thompson Family Chiropractic Clinic is now accepting new patients. We specialize in true spinal decompression using the DRX 9000 for herniated or bulging cervical and lumbar disc. We perform DOT physicals, drug tests, and neck and low back pain. We are open 6 days a week. Walk-ins are welcome. Call us today at 256-383-5772.
Just remember, at Thompson Family Chiropractic,
we have your back.
Welcome back, and with me I have Dr. Felice Green. Dr. Green is a retired professor from the College of Education at UNA. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good, and I understand you are the longest serving board member on the Music Preservation Society board. Is that true?
I am.
Well, thank you for that. Those of us in the community appreciate your tireless work for bringing us such a great festival.
I enjoy it.
Good.
It's worth it.
Oh, good. I hope you keep enjoying it. So, do you mind talking to me a little bit about how the board started, giving us really a good history about the festival and the Music Preservation Society?
Okay. Although the festival as we know it started in 1982,
Yes, ma'am.
before that in 1970 they had a W.C. Handy Music Festival. And some people may have forgotten that. They may have called it W.C. Handy Celebration, but they were getting ready to open the Handy Home and Museum, and they raised money. And then in 1973, they all had celebrated Handy's birthday. You know, he was born in 1873.
Wow.
And so they were celebrating his 100th birthday. But that was just one day. So, and the Top Hatters had a lot to do with that. The city sponsored it, but they hosted it, they raised money. Fast forward to 1982. Before we had the first festival, Willie Ruff, a native of Sheffield, was on a plane coming home, and he got in a conversation with Dr. David Musselman.
Yes.
And started talking about W.C. Handy. And of course, Willie Ruff is a musician. He was a professor at an Ivy League school. And I'll tell you why I'm saying Ivy League, because I'm not sure which one. It's Harvard.
I was going to say, it's up east somewhere.
Right.
I know that, so we'll just leave it at that.
I don't want to say the wrong one.
Exactly.
But he was a wonderful musician himself and had a duo. He and Dwight Mitchell. So they got in a talk, and that's the way it was born. Why don't we have an annual Handy Festival? And he was our first headliner. He and his partner, Dwight Mitchell. And actually that's the way it got started. So we got the group together, or they did, and got board members, asked people in the community who wanted to serve, and first it was just a long weekend.
Yes, ma'am.
And now it has evolved into over a week.
Oh,
It's supposed to be a week, but it stretches out.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I actually have a little trivia for you. I did not share this with Gil. I was one of the original waitresses in 1982 for Handy on the Plaza.
Oh, were you?
My sister recruited myself and a bunch of my friends, so I just thought about that I was part of that initial festival, and that's kind of fun. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. So can you talk about some of the past headliners and fill us in a little bit about who we have this year?
Well, some of the past headliners have been Roberta Flack, let's see. We had some fall, winter concerts way back. We had Count Basie here, and of course we've had Ellis Marsalis.
Wow. And
oh, I have a list here somewhere.
Well, and
I've got the Phil Woods Quartet, Diane Reeves, Dinah Shure, and we've had some really great people. And last year we had Keb Mo.
Right.
And he was
great.
Really great.
That was really
great.
Fun. That was great. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the Music Preservation Society, do you all do things all year? I know the Handy Festival is your big event, but it sounds like you all do more than just the Handy Festival.
Well, we don't have the winter concerts anymore, but we do things during the year. We have several committees, one of which is the Education Committee, and I'm on that. I chair it. And if someone wants us to come out and talk about not just the Handy Festival, about anything related to music and the like, we do.
Oh, that's nice.
But that's about the limit of what we do aside from the festival. Putting on the festival is a big job. As soon as one is over,
venues.
Pardon? Over 300 venues.
I know, that just, wow.
And so many of those are education related. I mean, we put a lot of emphasis on education. I coordinate, in addition to being the president, I have always coordinated one event, and that's the ABCs of Blues and Jazz and beyond. It used to be ABCs of Blues, then it became ABCs and Blues and Jazz, and now it's ABCs of Jazz, Blues, Jazz, and beyond.
And where does that event take place?
It takes place on Tuesday every year at 1:30 at Mount Moriah Family Center.
Okay.
And it's an hour. And children of all ages, I even say 100 from one on. But it's designed for children, but anybody can enjoy it. And then following that, there is a jazz spelling bee. And that is put on by Something Elegant, florist downtown. And I am the announcer of the words, but there are, and so many of our other events are good for children to attend, but that's two that are designed specifically for children.
So what is the spelling bee? So do you ask questions that are, and you spell words that are related to music?
They are all words related to music.
And would they have heard them in the, do they need to have attended the ABCs
They do not.
Okay.
And they can pick up the list at Something Elegant, which is on Court Street, North Court Street, before the festival and study. And there, of course, is a monetary reward.
I love that. I love that.
Oh, I should say award.
Now, is there an age limit on one entering the spelling bee?
One must not have gone beyond the 7th grade. I think I
So I'm out.
I'm sorry, you're out unless you're going to be like the guy in the movie who dropped out of school and went back and was in the 7th.
Luckily, I'm finished with that. I was just hoping that I could hone my spelling skills and come be a ringer for the spelling bee. And what other kind of educational events do you all have? Do you have events at the library, just around town?
Oh, yes. In Tuscumbia, we have, and over here in Florence, we have events at the library. And it's music. Over in Tuscumbia, there's a lunch is served, and we have an hour of music and prizes.
I love prizes. Well, that's great.
I have to say that we are green.
You are green? Is that a new thing for you all?
Last year, we were green, and that's in harmony with nature.
Right.
I don't know whether that's been mentioned before, and that's very, very important. Litter-free.
Litter-free.
And there are about 35 events that emphasize that.
Since KTSB, the Keep the Shoals Beautiful, is run out of the chamber, I appreciate your saying that.
Yes, that's we partner with you, of course.
I know. And so, well, those litter-free events, there will be recycling receptacles there.
Exactly.
Good. Well, we appreciate that. Well, and if anybody needs more information, where can they find it?
Online.
Okay.
www.chandyfest.org.
Okay.
And read all about Candy Staton, who's coming, and Donnie Fritz and some others who are going to be there. John Paul White, with whom she's done an album.
I know.
Top 10 for several weeks when it debuted.
We have so much talent in the Shoals. It is fun to kind of get it all in one place for 1 week. So
yes.
I certainly appreciate your time today, and I really appreciate what you're doing for the Shoals, and I wish you all the best success.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. And I'll see you next time.